Hello everyone. In the previous video I have explained you about the construction and operation of simple circuit breaker. Also we discussed about the formation of arc in circuit breakers and the methods adopted to extinguish the arc in circuit breakers. In this video we will discuss about one of the circuit breakers, one of the basic circuit breakers, that is air circuit breakers. Before getting into the discussion about air circuit breakers, let us see the classification of circuit breakers. The circuit breakers are classified based on voltage, like low voltage circuit breakers, medium voltage, high voltage, extra high voltage, and ultra high voltage. Based on the working voltage level, the circuit breakers are classified. And number two, based on the medium used for arc extinguishing or arc quenching, the circuit breakers are classified as air circuit breakers, oil circuit breakers, sulfur hexafluoride circuit breakers, that is SF6 gas circuit breakers, and vacuum circuit breakers. Uh, now let us get into the topic, that is air circuit breakers. These are suitable for interrupting high value of current but at low voltages, and the available working voltage levels are ranging from 400 volt to 12 kilovolt. You can use this air circuit breakers within these voltage ranges, and these circuit breakers can break or make the current up to 90 kiloamps, 90,000 amps at 12 kilovolts without damaging itself. And here the name suggests that the medium used for quenching the arc in these breakers is normal atmospheric air. The air at atmospheric pressure is used as an arc quenching medium. And when the arc is struck in the circuit breaker, the extinction of arc happens because of the natural deionization of the gases. We already discussed that whenever an arc is struck between the contacts, the gap between the contacts is ionized so that it is acting as a conductor. Now deionization of that gap between the contacts is happening because of the natural flow of atmospheric air, and that natural flow of air cools the arc, thereby the arc cannot exist. Now this is the view of an air circuit breaker when the contacts are in closed position. So you can see here, this is the fixed contact, and this one is the moving contact, and these two are arcing contacts, which looks like a horn, right? Arcing horns. And this is the arc tube, the place where the arc will be quenched, and these are all arcing splitters. They are used to split the arc into pieces so that the arc will be quenched. And in this picture the contacts are shown open. You can see the difference here. The moving contact is detached from the fixed contact, and the arcing horns also opened. So during normal condition, both the contacts will be in closed position, and whenever there is a fault, the moving contact is detached from the fixed contact like this. Now the arc is struck between the contacts. So here the arc will be struck between the arcing contacts like this. You can see that the arc, the cross section of the arc is much higher, And now what happens is the air at atmospheric pressure is going through this path towards the arc. So now as the contacts are open, there is a path for the air to flow, and when it reaches the arc, it tries to bring the arc in the upward direction. So air takes the arc in upward direction through the arc runners. These are the arcing horns or arc runners. So you can see the arc going upwards. Again I'll show you. See, the arc is going in the upward direction, and also you can notice that when the arc goes in the upward direction, the length of the arc is increasing, thereby the area of the cross section is decreasing. And in the previous video we also discussed the one of the methods to extinguish the arc is by lengthening the arc and reducing the cross section of the arc. So the arc length is increased. Finally, the arc will be broken into pieces by splitters. When the arc reaches these splitters, you can see that the arc is completely extinguished. So this is how an air circuit breaker works. The next type of air circuit breaker is air blast circuit breakers. So these are acting very fast in interrupting the current compared to air brake circuit breakers. So in air brake circuit breakers, normal atmospheric air goes through the arc and it deionizes the arc. But here the air blast circuit breaker, a compressed air will be passed through the arc and the arc will be quenched. Hence these air blast circuit breakers are used for interrupting high value of currents again at low voltages. They can be used up to 100 kiloamps at low voltages, and the voltage ranging up to 132 kilovolts. And you can also use this as air blast circuit breakers for very low voltage applications, that is 11 kV to 33 kV voltage applications. Here a compressed air at a pressure of 20 to 30 kg per centimeter square is used as an arc quenching medium. So there will be an air reservoir where the compressed air will be kept, and whenever required, the air at that high pressure will be blast passed across the arc so that the arc will be quenched. So this is the view of an air blast circuit breaker. So similar to your air brake circuit breaker, here this one and this one are the moving contact and fixed contact respectively, and these are all again arc splitters, and the compressed air will be flowing in the upward direction perpendicular to the arc. Like so, whenever fault happens, the contacts are detached. So this is the arc which is struck between the moving contact and fixed contact. So at that time the compressor will blow a high pressure air perpendicular to the arc. So air will be flowing across the arc, and that will take the arc towards the arc splitters. So as in the previous case, the arc length is increased and it reaches the exhaust chamber. So their arc will be broken into pieces by the arc splitters provided in the arc chamber. This is how air brake circuit breakers and air blast circuit breakers are working. And if you see the merits of air circuit breakers, it is cheap and clean, because a normal air is used for quenching the arc, so cheap. And when you see the air blast circuit breakers, they are high speed they provide high speed operation, and there is no fire hazard possible here because only normal atmospheric air is used as a quenching medium. And because in air blast circuit breakers, the duration of arc is very small. The arc will be quenched at very short time. Therefore the arc cannot burn the moving and fixed contacts. And it's also used for frequent operations. Frequently you can switch on and off these circuit breakers, so there is no burning of contacts. And similarly there will be demerits. Yeah, so it requires an air compressor plant, especially for storing the compressed air, and obviously that requires maintenance also. So yeah, it produces a high level of noise when the air is discharged. So whenever the circuit breaker opens, uh, the air blast passes across the arc with heavy sound. And there are some problems in using air blast circuit breakers. So one is current chopping, and and the interruption of capacitive currents. So these two problems we will address in the next videos. So current chopping is before the current reaches natural zero, the current will be disturbed. Thereby there is a possibility of more voltage being produced across the contacts. So that is a problem with air blast circuit breakers. Anyway, we will discuss these two things in the next coming videos. Thank you.